Okay, it's take 2 of Wildlife Wednesday.
2.
And hopefully it'll be longer than 2 seconds this time.
Wow, I just blethered and blathered
No,
on,
you didn't.
and nobody listened to.
I did.
Thank
I was
you,
here.
Bethany, for listening.
I don't know why I
Hi,
didn't
everyone.
post.
It's Wildlife Wednesday. You may not have. We tried this earlier, and we're going to try it again.
Yes.
We're actually talking about domestication and the difference between wild animals and domestic animals. So domestic animals have this relationship with humans where humans care for them and also influence their biology through reproduction over time. So genetically they're different. For instance, although cats that are outside, we call them feral cats or community cats.
Yeah.
They are domestic animals, but they're not tame, right?
Oh.
So tame animals are animals that live in the wild that have had some interaction with humans. And I'd like to introduce you to Thomas. Thomas is our educational owl, and we've already done this once, so Thomas is so... He's
We don't
a
have to
little
bug him.
impatient with us. I mean, I can take him out, and and the audience can say hi to him. He is our education owl. We've had him for a number of years. He was hit by a car. He had a broken wing that we fixed. We fix broken wings all the time.
Thomas is saying, I'm comfy in here. Hi, Thomas.
Hi, Thomas. So, Thomas
What kind of owl is he?
is an eastern screech owl, which is one of the smallest of the owls.
Yeah,
You can
he's teeny.
See how he just blends right in with that bark?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a little frustrated. That is a little bit of stress.
Sorry, Thomas.
Thomas is a bird of prey, so he has talons and a curved beak, and he has taught thousands of children and adults about his species. And the goal with Thomas is that if you can look at this beautiful creature in the eyes, you can form some sort of emotional bond with this animal, and then you're more likely to protect it, to want to do what you can to help these animals in the wild. That's the goal of education animals. And that's the goal of us. We have our mission on our wall.
Oh, let's read it.
Check that out.
Because I think that Thomas encompasses so much. So our mission at the SPCA serving Erie County is to create a more humane community through education, which Thomas does, rescuing, protecting, and enhancing the lives of animals, and nurturing the bond between animals and people. So he hits every single
That's
note.
exactly right. But as you know, as a humane society, we always need to think about, why are we doing these things? Why do we choose to have this animal in captivity, this wild animal in captivity over its lifetime?
Yeah.
And so we have to ask big questions. We have to ask the question, are we doing it for us, or are we doing it for this animal?
Yeah.
And in Thomas's case, Thomas is fairly okay on the glove. He tolerates human interaction. He's small. In a way, he epitomizes what an educational animal should be. However, as you could see, he was a little bit stressed.
Yeah.
And so this is not an easy. These are not easy decisions to make.
Yeah.
I will tell you though, in order for us to have an animal like this, we have a permit and we have a license to be able to do it. We have a license to collect and possess wild animals for educational purposes, and Thomas is on our permit. I am listed on there as an agent that can handle this animal. It's actually quite serious to be able to be in the charge of a wild animal, and we should take it seriously.
Yes.
And not only that, here in our hospital, we take it super seriously when we care for wild animals as well. We have permits to be able to care for wild animals. Not only that, but we do continuing education. We're always thinking about best practices, and we're always thinking about diets, the best thing for that animal, and what is the best medically we can do for that animal. And with our goal, Bethany, of
Releasing.
getting it back into the wild. We are not their friends,
No.
right? Thomas is different. We're working with him so that he's tame and comfortable when he's on the glove. But the animals that come into our hospital, we don't snuggle, we
Nope.
don't name, we do not form relationships with, because we know that we need to continue to respect their wildness and get them back into the wild. I want to also say we have permits to be able to do wildlife rehab. It's no joke, Bethany.
I know.
So we have our DEC permit, which allows us to be able to have this hospital. We have a Class 2 license, which means that we're an education facility where we can have assistants on our license. So we have all these volunteers,
Yep.
right? They don't have licenses to practice wildlife rehab. They become an assistant on our license. And the DEC needs to make sure that we do all the education. Hi, volunteers. To make sure that they are able to do wildlife rehab. They become these assistants on our license, which allows them to do wildlife rehab here.
Cool.
Okay?
Oh, you know what I think we should say is what DEC is.
The DEC is the Department of Environmental Conservation here for New York State. It's a state agency. In fact, when we start to look at the wildlife in New York State, the DEC really is the governing agency that governs all the wildlife in New York State.
Okay.
So they really, they write the laws and they enforce the laws that have to do with wildlife. Okay?
So if you took a wild animal out of the wild and somebody, I mean, would the DEC be the people who would probably knock on your door and say, no?
Yes, that is definitely against the law. I know you love animals just
Yes.
as much as I do, and we do these videos all the time, and we show these gorgeous creatures.
Yeah.
And that's my worry sometimes when we take Thomas out. I don't want people to think, oh, I want one too.
Yeah.
Or maybe I could do that wildlife rehab thing they're doing
Yeah,
too.
by
Maybe-
myself without any guidance or anything. Yeah, you
Right,
can't.
Bethany, you have a story, don't you, about
Yes.
a baby bunny?
Yes, when I was about 4, I caught a baby bunny running across the Clarence Library's lawn. Somehow I caught it, and my mom, I remember crying my eyes out because I wanted to keep it, and my mom had to, teach me the life lesson that wild animals stay outside where they belong, and pets can come inside, but not that baby bunny.
That's right. And I want to also make the point, too, that we put so much effort into learning how to run a hospital and to do a hospital. We have the
Yes.
permits. Not only do we have the DEC permit, we have a federal permit to be able to do birds. They're governed under the Migratory Bird Act through the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services. It's a federal permit. And we put all this effort in, right? And still, some people think if they see a bunny or a squirrel that they can do it. I can look up on the internet, right? The internet is a wonderful thing.
YouTube will not help you.
YouTube will not help you, but it also could get you in trouble.
Yeah.
If you do take that animal in and you try to do rehab on it, that's actually against the law.
Yeah.
And I have a funny story. Like, here's my analogy.
Yeah.
You and I both love little old ladies.
I do.
Who doesn't?
I know.
But if we were walking across Target and we saw that a little old lady had fallen down and hurt herself,
Yeah.
we wouldn't bring her home and do surgery on her, would we?
No, I would leave Betty there and call 911 because they know what they're doing.
We want the
I mean, I wouldn't leave her
professional-
alone, I should say that.
No, we would find the right
Yes.
care for her,
Yes.
right? And we know that we're not the right care.
Yep.
In the same vein, when you find a wild animal, please look for the best care for that animal. The DEC has a list of all the licensed wildlife rehabbers in your area. You can look that up, you can find a rehabber and get that animal to the care that it needs. Or you can give us a call.
Yep.
We're here. How lucky is Western New York to have the second largest wildlife rehab facility in the state, right here.
Very lucky.
And we're available for phone calls from 8 a.m. to midnight every day,
Yeah.
365 days a year. So we're here for you, and we'll find the right care for that animal. That's what we do. We're guided by that mission to rescue, protect, and enhance the lives of animals. And we take it darn seriously. So please, keep that in mind. This is no joke here.
No.
And I know that people love animals. If you really love animals and you would like to work with animals, come and visit us here at the SPCA. You can volunteer. You can help in a myriad of ways here at the SPCA. And we love to hear from you. But please do the right thing by wild animals. If you find one that's sick, injured, or orphaned, give us a call. We can rescue them, we can rehab them, and get them back into the wild.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you, Barb. Thank you, Thomas. And we can't forget, thank you, volunteers.